The 1st of September, 1939. Nazi Germany invades Poland, and the German army is followed by the Einsatzgruppen, which are Nazi mobile death squads sent to Poland to kill the civilians, mostly the Polish intelligentsia such as teachers, priests, physicians, and other prominent members of Polish society. After the German invasion of the Soviet Union in June 1941, these paramilitary death squads working with units of the German armed forces and local collaborators will conduct mass shooting operations targeting mostly Jews, Romani people, Soviet officials, and other people with disabilities. From 1941 to 1945, while operating behind the front line in Nazi-occupied Eastern Europe, the Einsatzgruppen will murder around 2 million innocent men, women, and children, accounting for 1/3 of all Jewish Holocaust victims. One of the main perpetrators of these atrocities is Erich Naumann. Erich Naumann was born on the 29th of April, 1905 in the town of Meissen, then part of the German Empire. He left school at 16 and began working for a commercial firm in his hometown. In November 1929, he joined the Nazi Party, and in early February 1930, he also became a member of the Nazi Party's paramilitary organization, the SA. On the 30th of January 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Paul von Hindenburg. In mid-November 1933, Naumann began working full-time for the SA organization in Dresden. Despite lacking a university education or student status, he was appointed head of the SA University office. By August 1934, he took on the role of University Liaison Officer for the head of SA training. His career within the SA progressed rapidly, and he eventually reached the rank of SA Obersturmbannführer, an equivalent to lieutenant colonel in the US Army. Between the 30th of June and the 2nd of July 1934, the SS assassinated many members of the rival SA, including its leader, Ernst Röhm. These murders came to be known as the Röhm Purge, or the Night of the Long Knives. Following the killings, Naumann left the SA and transferred to the SS in July 1935, where he immediately became a full-time SS officer. Around this time, when he became a member of the SS, Naumann began working for the SD, which was the intelligence agency of the SS and the Nazi Party in Germany under Hitler's regime. The Second World War started on the 1st of September 1939, when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. During the invasion of Poland, as the commander of the Einsatzgruppe VI, Naumann was responsible for the murder of over 6,000 people as part of Operation Tannenberg. This operation, which took place between September 1939 and January 1940, was one of the first large-scale extermination campaigns against the Polish elite in German-occupied Poland. Einsatzgruppen units, including Naumann's, carried out mass executions, targeting individuals considered a threat to Nazi rule. The operation was based on a secret list compiled by the Gestapo, the Nazi secret police, with help from ethnic Germans in Poland. The list contained over 61,000 names of prominent individuals, including politicians, intellectuals, clergy, military officers, and cultural figures. Einsatzgruppen, working alongside German paramilitary militias, were tasked with tracking down, arresting, and executing these individuals immediately after German forces occupied Polish territories. In the span of just 4 months, around 20,000 Poles were executed in 760 mass shootings. Many of these killings took place in west-central Poland, where Einsatzgruppe VI under Naumann's command played a crucial role. Pregnant women were among the victims, and hospital patients were also targeted as part of the T4 program, which was designed to eliminate those deemed unfit to live. Naumann's men worked closely with Herbert Lange, who later became the first commandant of the Chelmno extermination camp in German-occupied Poland. Lange's unit was responsible for the murder of over 5,700 Polish patients in psychiatric hospitals across Owinska, Kościan, and Działdowo. Many were shot in the back of the neck or killed using gas fans, an early method that would later be expanded for mass killings. The brutality of Operation Tannenberg laid the groundwork for later Nazi atrocities, including the Holocaust. Einsatzgruppen, initially formed to eliminate Polish resistance, would go on to systematically exterminate Jews, Slavs, and other groups across Eastern Europe. In April 1940, Erich Naumann was appointed inspector of the security police and the SD for the Berlin Police Presidium. His authority extended beyond the capital to the city of Stettin, placing him in a direct reporting line to Heinrich Himmler, the head of the SS, and Reinhard Heydrich, who oversaw the Gestapo, the Reich Security Main Office, and other key branches of Nazi security and intelligence. Additionally, Naumann answered to the Berlin police president, acting as the personal representative of the chief of the security police and SD. His role was officially described as the leader, educator, and supervisor of all security police and SD personnel under his command. On Sunday, the 22nd of June, 1941, started Operation Barbarossa, the German invasion of the Soviet Union. As the German army advanced eastward, 4 Einsatzgruppen units consisting of 3,000 personnel followed behind. Their mission was to eliminate Jews, Soviet officials, and anyone deemed a threat to Nazi rule. Einsatzgruppe B, initially commanded by Arthur Nebe, operated primarily in Belarus and Western Russia, including the regions of Minsk, Smolensk, and Bryansk. The unit was divided into multiple Einsatzkommandos, which carried out mass shootings and collaborated with local militias and German police battalions. Beyond mass shootings, Einsatzgruppe B used public hangings as a terror tactic to intimidate the local population. A report dated the 9th of October 1941 described such an event near the settlement of Demidov. Due to suspected partisan activity, all males aged 15 to 55 were detained in a screening camp. 17 men were identified as partisans or communists, and in front of 400 local residents, 5 were publicly hanged, while the remaining 12 were executed by gunfire. In November 1941, Erich Naumann replaced Arthur Nebe as commander of the Einsatzgruppe B. Under his leadership, the unit conducted some of the most horrific massacres in Nazi-occupied Soviet territories. In Minsk, the capital of Belarus, Einsatzgruppe B executed thousands of Jews in large-scale operations, a method soon replicated in other cities under its control. During November 1941, reports Naumann sent to Adolf Eichmann, one of the major organizers of the Holocaust, stated that the Einsatzgruppe B had executed 17,256 people in Smolensk alone. Under his command, Einsatzgruppe B also used gas vans, mobile gas chambers, to exterminate prisoners. Naumann later admitted that his unit possessed 3 gas vans, which were actively used for mass murder. By December 1942, another report from Naumann confirmed that Einsatzgruppe B had executed a total of 134,298 people. A month earlier, in November 1942, for his achievements, Naumann had been promoted to Generalmajor of the police and SS Brigadeführer, an equivalent to Brigadier General in the US Army. From September 1943 to July 1944, Erich Naumann served as commander of the security police and SD in the Netherlands. In this role, he was responsible for overseeing Nazi security operations, working closely with local collaborators to suppress resistance and enforce German occupation policies. During his tenure, Naumann assisted in the execution of Operation Silbertanne, a series of targeted assassinations and murders carried out against Dutch citizens suspected of anti-German activities. These killings were directed primarily at former resistance fighters, intellectuals, and individuals seen as loyal to the exiled Dutch government. Naumann also approved the executions carried out by Henk Veldmeer, a Dutch Nazi politician and SS officer, who led a death squad responsible for eliminating those deemed enemies of the Reich. These assassinations were often brutal reprisals, intended to terrorize the local population and crush any opposition to Nazi rule in the Netherlands. After the war, Erich Naumann briefly went into Allied captivity under a false identity. Following his release, he worked as a farm laborer before being arrested in April 1947 and subsequently interrogated. After his capture by the Allies, Naumann faced justice before a US military court during the Einsatzgruppen Trial, held between the 29th of September 1947 and the 10th of April 1948, as part of the Nuremberg follow-up trials. He was among 24 former SS leaders charged with serious war crimes. During the proceedings, Naumann repeatedly stated that he did not consider his actions as commander of Einsatzgruppe B to be wrong. When asked on the witness stand whether he saw anything morally wrong about the Führer's orders, he explicitly replied, "No, Your Honor. I consider the decree to be right because it was part of our aim of the war and therefore it was necessary." The tribunal then pressed him for clarification, saying, "Then the tribunal will accept from your answer that you saw nothing wrong with the order, even though it did involve the killing of defenseless human beings? That is what we draw from your answer." Naumann confirmed without hesitation, "Yes, Your Honor." On the 10th of April 1948, Naumann was found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging. On the 9th of January 1951, a delegation from the Bundestag German parliament, including its president Hermann Ehlers and international law expert Carlo Schmidt, petitioned US High Commissioner John McCloy for clemency on behalf of Naumann and his co-defendants. They argued that the remaining prisoners in Landsberg Prison should also be released, as their punishment posed a serious burden on the issue of rearmament. However, the lobbying efforts of his sympathizers failed to save him from justice. Erich Naumann was 46 years old when, on the 7th of June 1951, he was hanged in Landsberg Prison in West Germany. There were no tears shed for Erich Naumann.
Thanks for watching the World History Channel. Be sure to like and subscribe, and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss our next episodes. We thank you, and we'll see you next time on the channel.